So first off, let's start off with just what was she trying to what kind of message was she trying to say by writing this article? What was her message? Allison.
Our world today has a lot of parallels to the world like during World War I.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the general argument. And then what are some things that she was saying to support her argument? Definitely. Griffin.
She was saying that some of Woodrow Wilson's ideas, like compared to Obama's ideas, like right now, like he's a great orator, capable of laying out his vision of the world and stuff like that. And there's like a whole paragraph about like how the two presidents of like this time and that time are similar.
Yeah. She makes comparisons between President Obama and President Wilson, and their. I think one of the word she uses is like orally. So the way they're able to present information is one of the big things that she says for sure. Definitely. What are some? What about anything else you guys notice? Allison.
Obama was in cooperative Congress, and that China's trying to make themselves like taken seriously. There's always the argument that they were like Germany at the time period because they were trying to be taken seriously.
Okay. Yeah. So Germany was trying to be taken seriously at that time, but is China doing the same kind of thing today? It's So what do you guys feel about this? Do you think that World War One is the causes of that is now being parallel to today? Is that? Oh, go ahead, Grant.
I actually completely disagree with this article because, I mean, if you look at it, it was making some pretty far-fetched claims it basically said how, like, China isn't taken seriously, but I don't know how you could not take China seriously when they have the highest GDP and they have the third largest military in the world. And then it says that, like, the Congress is uncooperative, but they were saying how they wanted them to go, like, sort of into Syria to protect interests. But actually, if you look at it, Congress wants to launch an offensive into Syria, and the Defense Department and Obama do not want to. And then it was saying how, like, the Middle East was kind of stirring the pot. But, I mean, if you look at history, they've been fighting for thousands of years, so it's not like a whole lot has changed. So I would not agree with this article at all.
Okay. Yeah. No. And I completely, I definitely understand that some of the things that you're saying, definitely. So, and Grant, so you said something about like the Middle East and how they've been having issues for a long time. But do you think that today the issues that they're having today are they similar to things that they were having? Were they similar in comparison to the Balkans in World War I, or do you think that that overall, like, this is just a non-issue? Like, what are you trying to say by that?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really say that it was similar to the Balkans because the Balkan states was more of like a national and ethnic thing, where it was like the Serbians and the Slavs were fighting against the Germanic people from Austria-Hungary. But if you look at the Middle East, it's not really a border issue like Iran versus Iraq. It's more of a religious issue with like Sunnis against Shiites and then Muslims against Jews. So it's not really like a national thing, it's more of like a religious thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's a national thing, not a more. Yeah. So that was more of a national thing where now there's a lot of religious connotations to it. I mean, but religion can also be like a nationalistic idea. So do you think that nationalistic view? So that the religion is also. Sorry, that I messed up my words there. But do you think that religion can also be seen as a nationalistic view?
I mean, it kind of depends on where you're at because, like, I mean, it's kind of like a nationalist thing if you look at, like, individual governments, but, like, as a general area, it's not really.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I just like kept asking questions, but I really like a lot of the things that you were saying, so I really wanted you to be able to expand more on the things you were saying. Does anyone else want to add in on the conversation? What are some things that you guys are thinking about it? Or does anyone disagree with Grant? Do you guys think that nowadays maybe World War III truly is right on our toes? Okay. Well, So how about this? So looking a few weeks ago, we had those the bombings in Paris. And a lot of people are saying that those bombings in Paris could potentially very soon turn into the same kind of thing that happened with the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. That event could help stir up a whole nother conflict. Do you guys think that is a decent comparison?
I don't think that it really could, because I don't think any of the nations want to go to war anymore. Like back then, they probably like didn't know the outcome that it would create. So I don't think that anybody's like really trying to.
Okay. Yeah, you don't think anyone's necessarily like trying to go to war. It's not like the ultimate goal. Yeah, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Simon.
Well, I mean, I think there could something come out of this because, I mean, France sent more troops, and well, everyone else is coming over there too now.
Mhm. Yeah. So France is getting more motivated on this topic, and and definitely causing a stir for sure. Yeah. How about anyone else? Mel, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
I just think that, like, the fact that we're, like, looking at it and we're maybe considering the possibility of World War III happening is a big, I guess, it's a big sign that we're, I guess, growing as a nation and maturity, like, who we are as far as a nation goes. Like, we're starting to get a reputation in America for being, like, the big brother when we run in to save everybody else. And I don't know if, as a nation, we like having that title, but it's definitely something that we're recognized for, besides being fat, riding rascals. So, no, I think that it's just, I don't think it's a possibility at all.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to try to come to some kind of resolution, but we won't be the first ones to jump into war.
Okay.
We do it all.
Yeah, no, you made a couple of really, really great points there, definitely, and especially the idea that maybe the U.S. might not be the first one to jump in. There might be some other ones that jump in first.
Wait, is Grant going to respond to me?
No, not directly.
Go ahead, Grant.
I was just going to say how I think that more of a concern leading up to a conflict in the Paris shootings is the Turkish aggression in the Middle East, because they've sent troops recently into northern Iraq and into Syria, both of which their governments called an act of aggression. And then there's also been some overwhelming evidence that they've been purchasing oil from ISIS-led areas, so that's more of a concern leading to conflict than the Paris shootings, because, I mean, terrorism, unfortunately, it does happen, so, I mean, it's not new, but if you find out that, like, a major world power could possibly be supporting it, and then is also carrying out acts of aggression, that's more leading up to war.
Oh, and that's a really, really good point. I do agree with you. Yeah, the idea of ISIS today and their and what kind of impact they might be having is a huge issue. Their impact has been kind of crazy, honestly. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Okay. So this is kind of the end of this conversation. Of course, this is entirely opinion based, but I wanted to, and honestly, my personal opinion is absolutely not probably related to this article. However, I think that this conversation is just all over the news, and it's something that we should really think about in regards to this time period and its impact even today, and the idea that does history repeat itself? And a lot of people are trying to make those comparisons today. So that is all I have to say.